Hello, hello. That sounds a bit echoey, doesn't it? But that's what happens when you don't have any wallpaper, innit? Oh, they're all doing it on these programmes on box. Oh, great. I'm sat down here getting killed. Yeah, that'll do. Alright. What's he want?
I don't get the point of this trend.
Fucking hell. God, Bennett. Right. Hello. Have you had a good week? Yeah, it's been crap, hasn't it? But anyway, we've got a game to look forward to, haven't we? So to her, I said, I'm going to do a video for Wednesday tonight. She went, oh good, how's that going? I said, it's going very well. I said, I'm getting about 600-700 views, it's really good. She went, oh, that's good. Have you thought about doing your eyebrows? I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, Bolton. Apparently they're going to bring quite a big following. I think it's nearly 3,500, so that should make it a better atmosphere. Their skipper says they've got a game plan. And their game plan is to come to Hillsborough and silence the crowd. Not sure when he last played Hillsborough. Anyway, we welcome back two of our ex-players, Elias Kachunga. Such a letdown, because a great name, Kachunga, which always reminded me a little bit of Chichinga, which was the sound in the theme tune for Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey, number one super guy. Chicka-ching, 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 ching. Kachunga. Yeah, a bit of a letdown him, weren't he? The thing is, when I saw him playing for Huddersfield, I always looked quite big. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because we've had a team with a soft underbelly for the last 30 years, and I just thought he bullied us a bit. And then when we signed him, I was like, have we signed the wrong one? Because he suddenly looked a midget. I don't know, it seems to be something that happens, doesn't it, when Wednesday sign players? Suddenly the shoulders seem to slump a bit and the reality of the situation sets in. I don't know. Maybe he should start doing that old Megson thing, take him back at Cop. But he got too tense in then, didn't he? Look, I've been thinking about this a lot recently with Darren Moore. Big Darren Moore. Do you remember when we first got Darren Moore? There was a lot of talk. It's a big bastard him, Players will not give him any shit, He will tell him. And I mean, think it will he? Because he's a very nice fella, isn't he? And I know some big lads. You have to when you're a midget because you get picked on. So I know some big lads. They're all very nice kids. And I think he's probably the same, isn't he? Big Darren Moore, no one will mess with him. And I look at him and he's just a very nice bloke. Sometimes I think you've got to be a bit more intense, haven't you, to get more out of players. I mean, Megson was intense and it worked for a bit, but then I think he got so intense that the players were like getting radioactive waves of tenseness off him, and so it can be a negative as well as a positive, can't it? That intensity. What I do want to see is a little bit of intensity to our play. Apparently these do. I've been reading all about these. Oh, it's all about tempo, pace, attacking at speed, getting ball down, zipping it about. Actually, they've had some. They're up 7th in table, point out at playoff places. They're not looking too bad, are they? And of course, don't just welcome back Kachunga, who didn't really do out at Hillsborough, but we welcome back Kieran Lee. Yes, Kieran Lee. Probably, in fact there's no probably about it, definitely my favourite player we've had since we left Premier League. I know I would include Brunt in that. I would include Whelan in that. I would include Tudgay in that. Definitely my favourite player because game intelligence, understanding, good runs. Here's the thing, there's a phrase, it started sneaking in about 10 years ago in lazy punditry on telly, BBC, Sky, whatever. Usually when they were talking about England's failure to do anything at a major tournament since 1966. And whenever we lost a game, drew a game, whatever it were, they'd always trot out this. The problem is in England, players ain't got the technique, that the foreign players have. And I always just think, that's absolutely a load of bollocks. What they were talking about in relevance to the modern game is they were talking about that specific technique, weren't they? Of getting the ball in a tight spot and turning out the other way. That's essentially what they were on about. They were on about one thing because English players have got poor technique. Technique at what? Heading's a technique, isn't it? I always wonder, was Xavi a better header of the ball than Andy Carroll? I suspect he probably weren't. No. But people don't say, ooh, Xavi, he didn't have the technique, did they? But heading the ball, there is a technique to it. So, lazy punditry. English players don't have the technique. Well, they do. Maybe we've played systems and styles that haven't suited that technique. Did Glenn Hoddle not have technique? Or Gascoigne? Or Peter Beardsley? John Barnes? Chris Waddle? Countries always produce players with technique. We just don't always particularly use them in the right way. So that was just a lazy trope that really started to fuck me off. Where did this start? Oh yeah. Kieran Lee. Good technique in that modern way of wanting to receive the ball, being brave enough to receive the ball in tight areas, turn out, pop it off and make a run. I used to have a manager years ago and he always used to say to me, when you pass a ball as a midfield player, you should be that player's first option. A lot of people don't work to that basic principle. He did. Always available. Knock it off, get on. Great. Probably my favourite player. Just his intelligence and movement, kept it moving, simple, quick, fit as a fiddle, until Carlos almost destroyed him. Forestieri was exciting, weren't he? But the game into Forestieri could beat 3 men and score a 40-yard, or he could beat 3 men and blast it off at bar. But Kieran Lee just got a consistent level of football intelligence and awareness and looking all the time. Great to see him come back, really, and I'm glad he's doing well down there. Some people, he's probably finished and this and that other. I mean, if he were finished, it probably would have been our fault. So great to see him playing for them, doing well, loved by their fans, absolutely adored by their gaffer by the look of it. And just coming into form for his return to Hillsborough. Yes. Okay, so let's have a look at Bolton's form coming into the Wednesday game. So here's Bolton's last 5 games. 1-0 defeat at Sunderland. Well, no shame in that, obviously, pace setters in division. 2-0 home defeat by Rotherham, but again, no shame in that. I think they've looked a really decent side, and very interesting listening to them two fellas that got on Radio Sheffield in week. Their performance bloke was saying that they've got the 3rd best sprinting stats in world football. Rotherham United. Not the general running, sprinting. So I'm surprised their players aren't more knackered. Our players are knackered and they're walking. Let's get back to Bolton's results. A good win against Ipswich away from home, 5-2. Bleeding hell, that's a game, isn't it? A 0-0 draw at home with Burton Albion, which not be too pleased with that. And then a 2-1 win against Shrewsbury Town. So, unbeaten in the last 3, scored 7 goals. Yeah. So the record for this season, played 11, won 5, drawn 3, lost 3, scored 20, nearly over a goal a game, 15 against. So, definitely going to be goals in this game then, either way. Well, probably on Wednesday trying to play it out from back. Bolton's danger man, well, we know Bolton's danger man is. He's ranked their number one player this season statistically for his pass accuracy, his creating of chances, everything else. 87% pass accuracy, 11 games, 3 assists, 2 goals, and I've got to tell you, 2 of those assists and goal have come in his last 2 games. He's absolutely hitting peak form just in time to play us. Oh dear. So, what about Wednesday? What are Wednesday going to be doing? Well, if it were me, this would be my team. I'd go with Wildsmith in net. Well, we haven't really got a choice because BPF's away on international duty, but Wildsmith in net. Palmer at right back. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think he's been very consistent this season. Okay, he's been 1 or 2 headers, but I think he's probably slightly edge hunt, if I'm perfectly honest. I'd play Jaden Brown at left back, but I say that every single week. I offer at centre half with Sam Hutchinson. Would be my preferred pairing, especially if we're going to be trying to play it out from the back, which I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I'd go 4 across midfield. I'd probably start Marvin Johnson on the left-hand side. 2 assists in his last 2 games, albeit from full-back. I do think he's got a good delivery, he's got a good cross with his right foot and his left foot, so he'd be on my left-hand berth. In the middle of the park, I'd go with Adeniran and Bannon. I think Wing would be a bit unlucky, but Bannon's going to play anyway, we know that. Corbino on the right-hand berth, I think he's done enough in that midweek game. I know it's only against Mansfield Town, and there's that argument that it's 2 reserve sides or whatever. And I know the kid probably needs a little bit of work on his final ball and his decision making. I know he got that assist, but I think it was a bit wasteful with 1 or 2 of the decent opportunities that he had. But there were opportunities that he carved open himself with his willingness to drive at teams and be direct and run at defenders. So he'd get my right-hand spot. Up front, I'd go with Big Patterson. 2 goals in 2 games. He's an absolute handful. I'm still not sure what his best position is, but he's beast mode at the minute, and he's got that passion as well. I know people, passion, but he nearly ripped his own shirt in 2 when we conceded that late goal of the week. There's a player who cares and he's out there giving it all. He's a right handful, he's good in air, so he'd start. And I'd probably pair Patterson with Berahino. I'd like to see them working as a front pair. You've got a big, powerful, physical unit who's going to put himself about, be a nuisance for defenders. And then Berahino, he's got that little turn of pace. He can get into them little pockets and exploit that. And he can, when needed, play off shoulder at defender. So that'd be my team. 4-4-2. Get at them from first minute, on front foot. Get it wide. Get plenty of delivery into the box. Get players forward. And I think we could take game to them. Will it be that team? I very, very much doubt it. I think we'll probably see somebody dropping off and playing in Hull. The irony is, I think probably the best player to play in the Hull is Lewis Wing. And yet, I don't think that's a position that we'll see him playing in, ironically. But there we go. I'd have Canberra on bench because I think he's just one of them people who ball will bounce off his knee to net regularly through a season if he gets long enough game time. And I'd have Deli Bashiro on bench as well because I thought he looked quite impressive in week. Just got that bit of power and strength, and I think he's getting to an age now where he's got to be in and around first team. I don't think he's going to push on. I think he'll stagnate. So I think in his case it's time to either get him in and around squad or to get him out on loan, because I do think he's approaching that stage where he might hit a standstill if he don't start getting more game time. Will Dad and Mo do that? I don't know. I just want to see us come out with that bit of verve like we did against Shrewsbury Town, like we did for that tiny spell against Ipswich, probably like we did for a 10-15 minute spell against Oxford, albeit we didn't capitalise or look brilliant, but there was an upturn in the tempo and the having a goal. I know you're not going to do it for 90 minutes, but let's stretch it to 60. Let's make it a full half. Let's make it 60 minutes. Let's make it 70 minutes and get that intensity and go for teams. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you get out at Hillsborough and have a go at teams, you'll get backed. I just think with that sort of fan base and that sort of mentality that we want to see teams have a go. Some fans are more patient. They don't mind the teams knocking it about and fanning about with it and whatever. Some probably encourage it, but I think we're in a different mindset here. We like front foot, get it in box. I don't know, maybe it's been brought up on Jack Charlton and Howard Wilkinson. And let's be fair. Even though it's a completely different style of play, Ron Atkinson, Trevor Francis, different style of football, but it still went box to box very, very quickly. This tip-tap at back, I think it'll be our downfall. Anyway, like I said, there's been patches in games. It is Friday night, so there's always that little bit of optimism with me that we can get a result. And actually, it won't surprise me with Wednesday, because I think we're one of them teams who'll probably turn over a team that's doing okay and then play somebody crap in a couple of weeks and dip. That's the Wednesday, innit? Anyway, I think it'll be a tight game. I've got a feeling for the draw, to be honest with you. I think maybe a 2-2. I think that'd be a positive for scoring 2 goals in a game. The important thing is that we don't go a goal behind, because, as everybody knows, Wednesday go a goal behind, you may as well put your spice back in your pocket and start heading for exit. That has got to be turned round, that. Got to be turned round. Anyway, come on Wednesday. Let's make this week the starting point. Can't believe I'm saying that 11 games into a season.